The U.S. has announced it will ease some sanctions against Myanmar. I'm Deborah. You're watching Asia Today. I'm joined now by Patrick Barta, Southeast Asia Bureau Chief, who joins us now from Bangkok. Okay, Patrick, I guess the timing of this wasn't exactly a coincidence, given the fact that Myanmar just finished its election. So what can we make of this?
Well, the U.S. government is trying to send a signal that it supports the reformers within Myanmar's government. We've been seeing and hearing a lot of reports that there are divisions in the capital of Naypyidaw, that there are some people pushing hard to make changes, while some of the top officials in Myanmar have been dragging their heels or perhaps resisting. And the concern is that if the U.S. doesn't give an expression of support or reward the reformers in some way, that they may lose some traction. So the U.S. is trying to show that they've got their backs.
Okay, so what sanctions have they actually eased, and what does this mean for, who's likely to reap the most benefits of doing business in Myanmar?
Well, to be very clear about this, the U.S. is not wiping sanctions off the books. They will stay on the books, and any of the changes they make now can be reversed very easily if Myanmar doesn't follow through on its promises. But what the U.S. is saying is that it's going to start doing what it calls targeted easings. They're going to start doing things that they think will help kickstart or accelerate the reform process. So that means sending in some more relief missions, opening the door for the United Nations to be more active there, and most important, saying they're going to start easing some of the financial investment restrictions that have kept Western companies out. That doesn't mean Western companies can all rush into Myanmar right away, but they've signaled that they're going to look at certain sectors, for example, tourism, agriculture, telecommunications, and especially the financial sector, banking, because they know that Myanmar needs to make changes to upgrade its financial system.
Okay, any sense of which reforms they're looking for next in order to actually release, more sanctions?
Well, again, the key for the United States is these rules that govern financial transactions and investment. Those were mentioned today. The U.S. said they were going to start giving some easing of those sanctions, but they're not going across the board. But those are the two areas that people need to watch. Those are the areas that determine whether American oil companies, American consumer goods companies, Google or tech companies, these are the rules that determine whether they can go. So as the United States proceeds and as they see more progress from Myanmar, they're going to one by one potentially start lifting those restrictions to let those companies in. They haven't done that today, but they have signaled that that's the road they're going down.
Okay, and I know we wrote about it in the Wall Street Journal, but what's with the name? I mean, the U.S. insists on calling Myanmar Burma. Myanmar's called Myanmar, as we know, by this government. So what's the issue there?
Well, of course, the United States has long called the country Burma. The leaders of the country say their name is Myanmar. They take it as a personal insult that the United States will not refer to their nation as Myanmar. And in fact, it's somewhat strange to a lot of people that the U.S. has not given ground on this yet. They're talking about lifting or easing the biggest sanctions of financial transactions and investment, but they aren't talking about this little one. It's very strange to us as well, watching from Bangkok. But I do think over time, the U.S. is certainly giving a signal here that they want to make friends in Myanmar. They do believe the government there has real reformers. So even though that's a very symbolic or small issue, it's one that matters to people in Naypyidaw. So I think we'll probably see that one come off down the road as well.
Okay, thanks very much, Patrick Barta, Southeast Asia Bureau Chief, for joining us from Bangkok.